where she died in the back of my mind. Like, I didn't kill her physically, but in the back of my mind, she died. And I didn't even cry, not a single tear.
David, the young popular music artist who makes really emotional songs, has gotten his tiny balls put into deep fire in the past few months. He was reportedly accused of murdering a young little girl named Celeste. This incident with David is so messed up that it makes me want to vomit my flipping balls out my mouth from just talking about it. But a new report recently came out that David had met Celeste when she was only bloody 10 years old. And this information is potentially verified by people who had been at the scene between Celeste and David.
So before David was David, he used to go by the name Chronic Ant.
24 hours in the woods with Chronic Ant.
Chronic Ant was a really good Fortnite player.
Oh wait, hey.
When Celeste was first identified, I had came across some comments that said that they knew David, they used to play the game with him, and he used to always have his girl around. Looking back on everything now, they 100% think that that was Celeste.
This sickens me, dude. I was in a zone wars with both of them and thought the little girl in the lobby was someone's sister on the game. I always had a weird feeling about him. I didn't even know he was David.
I'm trying to find a clip of me, Celeste, and David in a call. I knew I should have said something, bro. I thought he was just being normal. We were queuing up in Fortnite with random people, then we queued up with Celeste. At first, it was normal. Like 3 months go by, and I notice it's getting weird. Like, how does he know her entire story? I'm thinking he's just being nice to this kid like a brother. It got weirder every time we would play together. Eventually, he did his own thing.
I was in a lobby while she was there, and that was only one time. I assumed it was someone's sister. Thinking of everything makes more sense now.
Do you remember anything weird about the conversation? Do you remember her username?
I don't remember her username, but there wasn't any weird vibes. We were playing Zone Wars, and she'd just make little comments like everyone while playing. But Ant would joke about SA all the time, and other weird things like severe dark humor, and everyone that's played with him can confirm.
What year and month was this, if you can remember?
January, February 2020, or can be 2021, because it was before I stopped playing, and I stopped playing around then.
And you're sure it was her?
100%. Couldn't have been anyone else.
Yo, I'm watching the live right now, but I just want to say this because me and my friend are trying to recall everything. We were all in a Fortnite team called Chronic, which is where I met him. He met her in like 2021 through Fortnite, I'm pretty sure. And then he made her get Discord. Everyone in the team knew about her, and he would joke about it and brush it off every time it got mentioned. That's all I personally know, but my friend Pistol knows more because they talked way more. She would literally say he her, but then follow it up with a joke. So I don't know if she was being for real or not. He was also just a weirdo, to be honest. He used to send in group chats.
If everything that they allege was true, David was 15 years old and Celeste was 10.
A 15-year-old having a fun time with a little 10-year-old kid sounds flipping strange as cow nuts. And it's so disgusting that David was even interested in her romantically. They're both minors, but at the end of the day, a 15-year-old should be talking to someone their own age. It's even more concerning that David was about to turn 16 when he was with Celeste. That's a whopping 6-year age gap. Even all the people who knew David in the past and were once close to him thought he was a creepy stalker because they knew well enough about the details. However, there's additional evidence supporting his strange behavior. David made a TikTok specifically asking people for tips on how not to be the most worst person to exist in the world. Now I wonder why in the balls would sweet, innocent, the great David ever consider himself the worst person in the world. It's not like he did something so mentally disturbing like murdering an innocent 10-year-old child deep inside a forest. Maybe I should keep my mouth shut before my balls gets murdered next. David didn't care at all about the precautions. He surrounded himself with an army of fanboys and yes men who would do anything in the world to keep David's reputation safe and hide the fact that he is Diddy's long-lost cousin. A particular fanboy of David, whose name is Zerx on Discord, had a leaked message talking about the situation shortly after Celeste's body was discovered. Zerx was telling everyone in the Discord server who are die-hard fans of David to keep their mouths shut, because most people on that Discord server knew about Celeste and David's hidden relationship. But the biggest secret wanting to be kept was the matching tattoo Celeste and David had gotten while being together. If this information went out to the public, David knew his bloody balls would be in an endless pit of hell. Celeste's, who is just a flipping 10-year-old girl, her body was in the back of his Tesla, and this Zerg guy is still covering for David. I honestly think this Zerg piece of crap should be held accountable for and be put in jail as well. The only one good thing I can say about piss poor David is that he is a great liar. There were messages of David that got leaked to the public talking to people around him just days after Celeste's body was found, acting like everything was all sunshine and rainbows why he was being investigated. Just by looking at these messages, you would think at first that this guy is an honest, faithful, respectable, sexy man of God. Boy, did he fool everyone.
So David's messages got leaked that had his thoughts when the investigation was ongoing for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And these messages were leaked by a singer named Caden Neese, who has had an online relationship with David for years. But now let's get into what they actually say. So on October 15th at 10:30, he said to David, "I pray it's just all misinformation. The internet sucks." David says, "It really does. So much twisted and fake." He responds, "I'm sorry, dude." And David said, "God bless you, twin. Keep going with your music. Don't stop for nothing." And mind you, in October was literally just a month after Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been identified in the front of David's Tesla.
The crazy part about these messages is that this is a month after David had murdered Celeste, and majority of the internet already suspected they had an inappropriate relationship together. He just went on with his life acting like nothing ever happened and that he's a proud man of God. And this person in David's messages named Caden Neese is as dumb as a mother yucca, thinking all of this information about David was bullshit at the time.
On December 18th, this Caden kid messages David and says, "I know you're innocent, bruh, but why can't the world know? These people are stupid." Anyways, David responded to this saying, "Ha ha ha, with all humility, I would phrase it as mere ignorance rather than unintelligence. Trust in God, my friend. How has your journey into faith been going?" And then David proceeds to tell him different things about the Bible, recommending things about the Bible. And then Caden responds, "Damn, dude, thank you." And then he says, "Bro, of course, my goat. When people stop stalking my Instagram followers to make conspiracy theories, I gotta follow you back." Last time Caden Neese actually talked to David was on March 28th, and he told him happy birthday, and David responded, "Thank you, brother." So this is literally just a couple of weeks before he was arrested. So definitely very interesting. You can see David's mindset. You can see him actually messaging with people on Instagram while this whole thing was going down.
The funny thing is, after all of these messages and people being well aware, knowing he had a connection with Celeste, David was partying his balls off, enjoying his life, believing he got away with murder. He was staying at a secret location and potentially even hiding out while the investigation was ongoing, until there was a knock at his door the very next day. And it was the mother yucking cops. His ass will now be enjoying life in prison with his long-lost cousin Diddy. I hope they both share the same cell and he will get a good smell of Diddy's crap. This flipping incident will go down as one of the most craziest stories in the goddamn internet.